If freedom is a requisite for human happiness, then all that's necessary is to provide the illusion of freedom. The mob rushes in where individuals fear to tread. We shouldn't teach great books. We should teach a love of reading. Knowing the contents of a few works of literature is a trivial achievement. Being inclined to go on reading is a great achievement. The only geniuses produced by the chaos of society are those who do something about it. Chaos breeds geniuses. It offers a man something to be a genius about. Education is what survives when what has been learnt has been forgotten. No one asks how to motivate a baby. A baby naturally explores everything it can get at, unless restraining forces have already been at work. And this tendency doesn't die out, it's wiped out. A person who has been punished is not thereby simply less inclined to behave in a given way. At best, he learns how to avoid punishment. The real question is not whether machines think, but whether men do. The mystery which surrounds a thinking machine already surrounds a thinking man. What is love, except another name for the use of positive reinforcement, or vice versa? A fourth grade reader may be a sixth grade mathematician. The grade is an administrative device which does violence to the nature of the developmental process. We are only just beginning to understand the power of love because we are just beginning to understand the weakness of force and aggression. Some of us learn control, more or less, by accident. The rest of us go all our lives not even understanding how it is possible, and blaming our failure on being born the wrong way. It is a surprising fact that those who object most violently to the manipulation of behavior nevertheless make the most vigorous effort to manipulate minds. A scientist may not be sure of the answer, but he's often sure he can find one. And that's a condition which is clearly not enjoyed by philosophy. Society attacks early when the individual is helpless. Not everyone is willing to defend a position of not knowing. There is no virtue in ignorance for its own sake. Going out of style isn't a natural process, but a manipulated change, which destroys the beauty of last year's dress in order to make it worthless. Men build society, and society builds men. Any single historical event is too complex to be adequately known by anyone. It transcends all the intellectual capacities of men. Our practice is to wait until a sufficient number of details have been forgotten. Of course, things seem simpler then. Our memories work that way. We retain the facts which are easiest to think about. The consequences of an act affect the probability of its occurring again. The world is a poor standard. Any society which is free of hunger and violence looks bright against that background. But restraint is the only one sort of control. An absence of restraint isn't freedom. It's not control that's lacking when one feels free, but the objectionable control of force. The amateur doesn't appreciate the need for experimentation. He wants his experts to know. The ideal of behaviorism is to eliminate coercion, to apply controls by changing the environment in such a way as to reinforce the kind of behavior that benefits everyone. Radicals all want to govern. They want to try it their way, to show that people will be happier if the power is wielded in a different way or for different purposes. But how do they know? Have they ever tried it? No, it's merely their guess. The rat is always right. Compared to people, one of whom has been crippled by an accident, the other by an early environmental history which makes him lazy, and when criticized, mean. Both cause great inconvenience to others, but one dies a martyr, the other a scoundrel. Something doing every minute may be a gesture of despair or the height of a battle against boredom. We do not choose survival as a value, it chooses us. A failure is not always a mistake. It may simply be the best one can do under the circumstances. The real mistake is to stop trying.